Hello, everyone. For today's topic, we are going to talk about Indonesian economy and Metaverse. Indonesian digital economy and Metaverse. In 1996, the emergence of the internet in Indonesia has changed the economy, which known as the digital economy. With the digital economy, a global platform is formed where many people and organizations provide strategies to first interact, second is communicate, third is collaborate, and search for information. First question. What do you know about digital economy? So, a digital economy is an economic activity powered by the internet and digital technologies and allows anyone to participate from anywhere. It can be described as a range of economic and social activities that rely upon or use IP-enabled networks and platforms, which broadly refers to any number of sectors and ways of living that happen primarily in virtual spaces and not in face-to-face interaction. Initially, the internet was used only for browsing, chatting, and or emailing. But along with the times, various kinds of social media and websites have emerged that are used as economic transactions or what we usually know as e-commerce, which is the driving force of today's global economy. And we are going to talk about it later on. So it is where anyone can open a business online and get a response from a wider market. Similarly, the payment process can be already done online with e-payment. According to a research company data portal report that total population in Indonesia is 273 million people, and the number of Indonesian internet users in 2022, to be precise, last January, reached 204.7 million people. It shows that the role of the internet is increasingly important in social, economic, and social life politics in a globalized world. Every year, the internet is getting deeper and deeper into influence human life. While the average internet daily usage by the internet user is around 8 hours per day, and the internet has moved to become a basic need for everyone. Almost all one's needs can be met through internet, so that expenses can continue to access the internet tends to get bigger. And the last is the number of connected mobile devices in Indonesia reached 370.1 million in January 2022. Let's see the comparison of how digital is Indonesia with another country. Here is the diagram of internet users showing by the yellow color and the social network showing by the red color in some countries. So based on the data, in Vietnam, internet adoption was recorded at 70%. Meanwhile, the internet adoption in Thailand and the Philippines was 69.5% and 67% respectively. And in Indonesia itself, 73% 0.7% of the Indonesian population already uses the internet. That percentage is the third highest in Southeast Asia. Indonesia's position is below Singapore and Malaysia, and the percentage of the population using the internet in those two countries are 90% and 84.2% respectively. So from the chart here, what driving the penetration of internet in Indonesia is the growth of the smartphones. Second question. What do you guys think the government should do to maintain the stability of the development of digital economy technology in Indonesia? Let's move to the next topic, the digital revolution in Indonesia. The digital revolution is driven by three types of technologies that, while not new, have advanced in recent years to significantly increase their impact on the global economy and digital in Indonesia. This chart shows the three types of technology and its development from 2014 to 2015. First, data talk about the mobile internet, which the mobile devices have overtaken fixed line devices as the main gateway through which people access the internet. So, based on this chart, the internet users in 2014 to 2015 are increasing 12 million users, and from year to year, the users are always increasing. Why? Because every year, there are always new technological developments, such as improving the quality of internet network. The second data is around the cloud technology. So it is a combination of multiple technology tools, commercial offerings, and delivery models, which delivering computing services that can be accessed via the internet instead of residing in the company's own IT infrastructure. Based on the data, there are 1.4 times from 2014 to 2015. And the last data is around Internet of Things or IoT. In a simple way, means the activity between humans and things, or things with things such as sensors, robots, platforms, and cloud, connected through standard communication protocol to receive or send information to enable certain work process to be more efficient. Based on this data, in 2014 to 2015, they are increasing the total connected devices, which from 32 million units to 39 million units. Three opportunities that we're going to know in improving the Indonesian infrastructure in the near. First one, we are going to talk about international linkages. According to telegeography, Indonesia's international capacity is limited with only 0.01 megabytes per second per user, compared with Singapore with 2.74 megabyte per second per user. So, with a large portion of Indonesia's traffic going to international sites such as Facebook and Google, international bandwidth is an important consideration for planning Indonesia's digital future. The second opportunities that Indonesia's improved infrastructure is domestic cable network. In order to raise fixed broadband penetration beyond the current low level of 2.5%, they need to improve the infrastructure, which Indonesia needs to expand the availability beyond the greater Jakarta area by strengthening connectivity in western and central Indonesia and expanding into eastern Indonesia. And the third opportunities is 4G infrastructure. Indonesia's last mile 4G coverage was at only 23% in 2015. Growing e-commerce, mobile entertainment, and gaming content have increased the need for speed for the users that access mobile broadband. Next, we are going to talk about digital ecosystem. A digital ecosystem is an interdependent group of enterprises, people, and or things that share standardized digital platforms for a mutually beneficial purpose. The beneficial purpose, such as commercial gain, innovation, or common interest. Digital ecosystem enable you to interact with customers, partners, and even your competition. After figuring out what a digital ecosystem is, Indonesians are among the world's most active digital ecosystem with a rapidly growing digital ecosystem that includes three things. First is online commerce, second is ride-sharing services, and the third one is financial technology services. The e-commerce development in Indonesia has far impacted the country's macroeconomic conditions in some critical benefits. So we are going to talk about the benefits in the digital ecosystem. First is financial benefits, which a significant boost after the COVID-19 pandemic forced people to choose for home deliveries and online shopping. The second is job creation. Indirect fields such as supporting roles in the e-commerce companies would also contribute to the country's job creation alongside the growing numbers of micro, small, and medium enterprises encouraged by the presence of the platforms. And the last benefit is buyer benefits. The e-commerce presence has helped Indonesia consumers by providing accessibility across the archipelago with 11 to 25% saving compared to if the country buy from conventional. Next is the example. When after discussing the digital ecosystem, we also need to know that Telkomsel has introduced their subsidiary, which Telkomsel Digital Economy, or called Indico. Indico plays a strategic role as a holding company that oversees Telkomsel's current and future digital business portfolio. Indico will optimize Telkomsel assets and capabilities to create a flywheel effect from innovation that will accelerate Indonesia's digital economy. In the first phase, Indico will focus on developing three business lines, which games, second is health tech, and third is edutech. However, in the next phase, Indico is very open to developing more business lines by embracing various startup companies. Now we are discuss about the trends in digital economy in Indonesia. The digital economy industry in Indonesia is arguably very vibrant. This is marked by the rapid growth of various application-based startups. Data from the startupranking.com site notes that there are currently 2,079 startups in Indonesia. Interestingly, the startup growth trend was pioneered by young people who have the spirit of sociopreneurship. One of example is how William Tanuwijaya, as the CEO of Tokopedia, who originally had a vision to make it easier for anyone to start their own business through the internet. Questions? How do you respond to today's digital changes? In facing digital economy, there are challenges in the digital economy investment in Indonesia. And there are 5 challenges that you need to know. The first is cybersecurity, which is the major challenge in many countries in terms of digital economy. As a developing country that has great opportunities, Indonesia has an increasing flow of online transaction every year. This will be a new loophole for irresponsible parties to attack the cyber world. Even our country has experienced 1,225 billion cyber attacks every day. Next is competition is getting tougher. The digital economy also brings increasingly fierce market competition. The development of e-commerce seems to be a tap for products from other countries to enter Indonesia easily. As a result, even if local products do not develop, they will be eroded by products from other countries, which tend to be sold at affordable price. Plus, currently there are still minimal products from micro, small, medium enterprise that are included in the realm of e-commerce. The third challenge is low human resource digital ability. In terms of preparing digital talent, Indonesia is still facing problems, including the demographic bonus. The digital capability of the country's human resources is still quite low. The reason is that the workforce is still dominated by low-skilled workers, where 56% of them have junior high school education and below. As a result, the digital skills of the workforce are also limited. Next challenges is about availability of qualified internet access. Similar to the development of human resources, another factor that is no less important is infrastructure. In this case, the important point is the availability of qualified internet access in almost all areas. This is because internet access is what affects economic digital investment in Indonesia. The last challenge is regulations that have not kept up with the times. Another challenge is the existence of regulations and legal bases that need to be designed to keep up with the times. The classic law, which states that the law always limits to catch up with the times, may apply if the rules of the game regarding the digital economy in Indonesia are not handled optimally. Next question. Based on the challenges that have mentioned before, what solutions or contributions can you make to overcome these challenges in the future? Okay, we need to know that Southeast Asia's digital economy is expected to expand to $363 billion by 2025, according to the latest CEA economy report from Google, Bain, and Temasek, surpassing the previous forecast of 300 billion. And nearly half of that growth is contributed by Indonesia. So digital economic growth remains strong in 2021 as the COVID-19 pandemic pushed digital adoption further. One of the main takeaways of this growth in economy digital is consumers cruise into a new way of life. The data shows that Indonesia has seen 21 million new digital consumers since the start of the pandemic up to the first half of calendar year 2021. Of these new users, 72% are from non-metro. Here's the average number of new digital service consumed by a pre-pandemic users over time. While pre-pandemic users, those who used the service before the pandemic, has consumed an average of 3.6 more services since the pandemic began. Indonesia's gross merchandise value, or GMV, is expected to reach a total value from $70 billion in 2020, and a year-on-year is around 49% surge. This increase occurs because digital services make it easier for the community. Business actors have also begun to increase digital adoption in their sales, like selling goods through e-commerce platforms, using digital financial services and transactions, and conducting business promotions using social media. For your information, in Indonesia, 28% of digital merchants believe that they would not have survived the pandemic if not for digital platforms. The development of digital economy in Indonesia. The emergence of various digital applications as payments instruments is one proof that shows the development of the financial sector in this digital economy era. Not only payment systems, digital applications related to the financing system have also begun to be widely developed and used by the community, so that innovations emerge, new namely fintech. So Indonesian fintech companies have many types. The types of fintech companies in Indonesia are generally dominated by startup companies, such as payments, retail investment, leading or lending, financial planning, crowdfunding, remittance, and financial research. The growth of fintech in Indonesia can increase the gross domestic product or GDP by 25.97 trillion Indonesian rupiah, either directly or indirectly. And not only that, household consumption can increase to 8.94 trillion Indonesian rupiah. Both of the things shows that the existence of fintech has been able to improve the Indonesian economy at a macro level, and innovation fintech services are fast and affordable, and they provide SMEs with a wide range of lending options. Moreover, fintechs enables already established companies to extend their offerings. The example app of fintech in Indonesia is GoPay, OVO, Dana, Ajaib, and Tcash. Questions. In your opinion, why is fintech important for today's society? Now, we are going to talk about the COVID-19 impact to Indonesian digital economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed people's behavior in various sectors. After the pandemic, people's behavior tends to have a high level of technology utilization. This situation is a great opportunity that must be utilized to accelerate digital transformation in the financial sector so that it can contribute positively to accelerating economic recovery. Changes as a result of COVID-19. First is habitual change. Second is business model shifting to online. Third is social distance requirement. And the last change as a result of COVID-19 is survivorship of more digital firms. During pandemic, everyone were forced to change behavior. So companies do a transformation for the business models and governments to do an adjustment in their regulations. And just as the coronavirus has affected regions and individuals in vastly different ways, the economic impact has also been very uneven. Employees able to work from home have maintained jobs and income, accumulating more savings while forced to cut back on spending from lockdowns, travel restrictions, and health fears. Others lost jobs and income or closed down business and have struggled to pay the bills. Here are the evolution of demand over pandemic period. there are e-commerce penetration, restaurant delivery, online grocery shopping, online education, and automation adoption. So you guys can see here, in e-commerce, penetration shows that the demand over pandemic still increasing time by time, because why the trend may or may not stick after pandemic is because convenience from customers, surge in new users during pandemics, and rising adoption of digital payments. While in the restaurant delivery, they're increasing and then also low because the convenience for consumers replacing some home cooking and meals out, but also return to dining in restaurants once health concerns wane. The online grocery shopping also illustrate the same, with convenience for customers, surge in new users during pandemic, efficiency for grocers, some return to in-person shopping such as handpicking and selecting produce, and in automation adoption, you can see that the reasons for potential acceleration first is reduce the workplace density, cope with demand variability, improve efficiency and speed, and offer contact-free services. Since the implementation of large-scale social restriction, it is assumed that 70% of economic and social activities are transferred to the online platform via the internet. Increasing digital economic activity is influenced by an increase in the level of consumption of telecommunications and internet service. Since 2015, the climate for digital economic activity in Indonesia has grown well. Therefore, the large-scale social restriction does not stop economic activity, but rather switches to online media. So what happened at first, most firms adjusted to COVID-19 by going digital. Based on the data from year to year, the COVID-19 pandemic has increased the number of unemployed and poverty levels. However, digital transformation is actually growing and disrupting the business sector and the economy. The second is more firms use internet and digital platforms. Across Indonesia, the digital is becoming mainstream. Over past 2 years, digital transactions have grown by a factor of 10 times in most categories. This growth has been partly accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic as consumers and business have adopted greater use of online technologies to work, shop, learn, and even pay their bills. Next question. In your opinion, will the digital platform continue to be used even after the pandemic ends? Next questions. What's your solution for firms who adjusted to COVID-19 by going digital? Let's jump to the next topic. E-commerce powers. E-commerce is one example of economic digitalization that is used in Indonesia. It is the buying and selling of goods and or services via the internet and the transfer of money and data to complete the sales. It's also known as electronic commerce or internet commerce. As the digital economy grows, e-commerce platforms' impact on the community does as well. There are two impacts here. The first is effective and cost-efficient access, which would enable a more effective transition into digital transformation and creating a mutually beneficial relationship that helps both the seller and the e-commerce platform grow. Next question. In your opinion, why does e-commerce turn out to be a crucial part of Indonesia's economic movement? The contribution of e-commerce to the economy. E-commerce in Indonesia plays a significant role in generating and nurturing the digital sector with the digital economy scale. In 2015, the contribution of e-commerce to the economy was initially only 2%. Then in 2020, Indonesia's digital economy contributed to 4% of Indonesia's gross domestic product and is expected to approach 16% between 2020 to 2025. And in 2030, the government predicts that e-commerce will contribute around 1,908 trillion Indonesian rupiah to the national economy. This figure is equivalent to 33% of Indonesia's entire digital economy map. The largest population of Instagram users in the regions with 57 million active accounts, and it's the largest Instagram story producers in the world, two of the most active cities for Twitter in the world. And for your information, the most number of billion-dollar tech startups in Southeast Asia, and 4 of them from Indonesia, which are Tokopedia, Gojek, Traveloka, and Bukalapak. So online commerce is big and growing rapidly. E-commerce is one of the current online trading market models, which Tokopedia, Shopee, Bukalapak, Lazada, Blibli, and GDID. And 60% of sales are done through online commerce, while the remainder is done through social commerce. Next question. Do you prefer online shopping or in-store or physical shopping? Why? we will talk about the number of users for each e-commerce in Indonesia. The development of e-commerce in Indonesia is to increase. Coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic, the existing marketplace is predicted to become even stronger. There are currently around 300 million e-commerce users in Indonesia, and here are the numbers of users for each e-commerce in Indonesia. For Tokopedia, it's around 135.1 million people using this e-commerce, and Shopee is 127.4 million people. Bukalapak is 34.2 million people. Lazada is 30.5 million people. Blibli is 19.6 million people. And GDID is 4.1 million people. The number of online shopping consumers in Indonesia who use e-commerce will reach 32 million people in 2021. The number has increased by 88% compared to 2020, which was only 17 million people. The users who dominate the marketplace vary according to their needs. For example, Shopee users mostly make transactions in the fashion and beauty industry, while most electronic transactions are done through Tokopedia. So with the rapid pace of e-commerce transactions, digital payment transactions have also increased rapidly, which is reflected in the volume of electronic money used in e-commerce transactions. Data from Bank Indonesia recorded that the value of e-commerce transactions throughout 2021 reached 401 trillion Indonesia rupiah, and in 2020 there was a 29.6% increase in the nominal e-commerce transactions from 205.5 trillion Indonesia rupiah in 2019 to 266.3 trillion Indonesian rupiah. The e-commerce for MSME development. The government wants more MSMEs products to be done to the digital ecosystem. One of the strategies of this movement is connect them with various online marketplace platform providers. The number of MSEs is switching to digital service has doubled compared to before the corona pandemic of around 8 million to 15.9 million. Bank Indonesia note that around 87.5% of MSMEs were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and that survived to 10 has switches to digital. The positive development of e-commerce in recent years has an impact on MSMEs, especially during the corona pandemic. In 9.65 years during the pandemic, the number of MSMEs going digital increased from 18% to 20 or 23%. The e-commerce provides a broad reach to customers, thus opening up opportunities for MSMEs to grow at home and abroad. So the negative and positive impact of digital economy. The positive impact that we can gain is the GDP or the gross domestic product, which is increasing every year, makes the growth of young entrepreneurs through startup business. And the second is increasingly even economy, faster economic transaction and others. The next is access to education is getting easier. The social becomes the foundation for inclusive economic development. Youth human resource empowerment. The more rampant use of ICT will further open up jobs, and the productivity of the industrial world is increasing. While the negative impact of digital economies are deceit, the occurrence of unemployment, information theft, lost business opportunities due to the service interruptions. Next question. To prevent unemployment for workers who do not have the necessary qualifications, in the example of the negative impact economy, what needs to be done? Next topic is net neutrality and network management. So, net neutrality is a principle of net neutrality that ISPs should enable access to all content and applications, regardless of the source and without favoring or blocking particular products or websites. And the network management is the efficient network management essential in ensuring the smooth transit of traffic and the high quality delivery of content to all users over the internet. So, what are the implications of the net neutrality and network management in Indonesia? So, first one is the over-the-top regulations from Cominfos, which a draft regulation does not support the principle of net neutrality. Under the draft regulation, over-the-top service providers are obligated to store data on transactions and traffic for 3 months, guarantee legal access to the data for investigation purpose, and set up a consumer inquiries and complaints information center and respond to requests and complaints within 48 hours. The next program is about National Payment Gateway. So Bank Indonesia released the NGPG regulation, which seek to make transaction easier and cheaper for customers by allowing all electronic money, debit and credit cards of any issuers to be accepted at any ATM, electronic data capture device, or payment gateway. However, all domestic transactions will be required to be processed through the NPG. Questions. Do you think electronic money facilitates your daily activities? And which one do you prefer between cash and electronic money? Okay, we will talk about the most trending topics around technology and its development, which is Metaverse. Driven by the need for greater digital connection, the metaverse is the next way people will interact with technology. Questions. Have you heard about metaverse? Give your thoughts about it. Okay, actually, the word metaverse and its concept was first coined in a piece of speculative fiction named Snow Crash, which written by Neil Stephenson in 1992. In this novel, Stephenson defines the metaverse as a massive virtual environment parallel to the physical world in which users interact through digital avatars. And guys, metaverse is a combination of the prefix meta, which means implying transcending, with the word universe, which describes a hypothetical synthetic environment linked to the physical world. We already know about what is the metaverse and its origin, so we can consider that the metaverse as a virtual environment blending physical and digital, facilitated by the convergence between three main things. First is the internet, which is a vast network that connects computers all over the world. Through the internet, people can share information and communicate from anywhere with an internet connection. The second is web technologies, which refers to the various tools and techniques that are utilized in the process of communication between different types of devices over the internet. And the last one is about extended reality or XR, which is a term referring to all real and virtual combined environments and human-machine interactions generated by computer technology and wearables. For example, here, the representative forms such as augmented reality or AR, mixed reality or MR, and virtual reality or VR, and the areas interpolated among them. So, what are the implications? Since the metaverse is the hottest term in the global tech market, companies developing metaverse are focused on building new innovations and features to enable users to interact with each other efficiently and effectively in the digital world. Metaverse companies are at the front to transform the digital world with immersive experience in the future. Thus, let's get to know about the top 10 companies developing metaverse to contribute and invest in metaverse technology. As you guys can see here, there are top 10 companies working on metaverse and its development. First is Meta. It is the main company developing metaverse for users and players to be in the vast network of real-time 3D virtual worlds while maintaining identity and payment history. The second in NVIDIA, a popular company developing metaverse by supporting artists as well as content creators to build virtual worlds and products. The next is Epic Games. Paved the way for the game developers to explore a plethora of opportunities in Web 3.0. It has also invested in Spire Animation Studios to port story-assessed such as worlds and characters, into the metaverse. The fourth is Microsoft, focused on developing a series of metaverse applications on the top of the Mesh platform. Microsoft also building a new augmented reality chipset for the metaverse. The next is Apple, is known as well as the company for Meta for creating a head mount system or HMD virtual meeting apps. It will incorporate physical hand and arm movements to be present and interact in virtual meetings. The sixth companies is Decentraland. It helps users to create as well as monetize different apps and content while purchasing virtual piece of land in the metaverse technology. The next is Roblox Corp. Roblox Corp focused on building a creator economy metaverse while offering an open gaming platform to let players create their own digital and interactive worlds. The next company is Unity Software. It is focused on empowering businesses with the supply of advanced tools and technologies such as 3D, 2D, virtual reality, and augmented reality to develop metaverse technology. Next is Snapchat. This company is developing metaverse through the launch of 3D Bemojis. This update of virtual humans is promoting the speed of the metaverse technology. And the last company is Amazon. It is a popular tech company developing metaverse through the recruitment for the metaverse technology, which a senior product manager. It has shown the product managers needs to own the delivery of cloud-based metaverse services in the gaming tech division. How about the metaverse marketplace? There are three marketplaces in the metaverse. First is Decentraland that we already said before, which is a software running on Ethereum that seeks to incentivize a global network of users to operate a shared virtual world. With Decentraland, the users of Metaverse can buy and sell digital real estate while exploring, interacting, and playing games within this virtual world. And also, they will have an event in the Metaverse. The next is NFT or the non-fungible token. It is a non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain, a form of digital ledger that can be sold and traded. One way people are using NFTs in the metaverse is to buy virtual land. And the last is Metaverse. This is the first Indonesia's marketplace metaverse. It is developed by Indonesian's advertising network company Dentsu, which launched Metaverse, where a brand can own, build, and sell virtual merchandise along with their real product. So here are the metaverse facts. The popularity of the metaverse became the opportunity to one of the American singer, which mentioned in this slide is Lil Nas X, that gained 33 million people watch his show through Roblox. It can influence and give knowledge to people more about the metaverse. And also, Decentraland, which one of the top 10 companies that we already mentioned, gained 75,000 sales of their properties. And the last fact is about $10 billion has been invested in the Meta's Reality Labs segment. The last topic is about the potential metaverse. Here are the potentials that Indonesia has in developing the metaverse. Next, Indonesia has the advantage of noble values of the nation and local wisdom. The next is utilization of resources, connectivity, and all elements of informatics in Indonesia, as well as involving various companies that focus on developing the metaverse. The third potential is applied in various fields such as Indonesian tourism, education, social, trade, and many other fields. And the last potential of the metaverse is the large population of Indonesia can strengthen the potential of the metaverse in Indonesia. So guys, what did you learn from this topic? Okay guys, hope this topic will give you more information about the digital economy in Indonesia and also the knowledge about the metaverse. Thank you and see you on the next video.